Well, welcome to the lazarette on the back port side of Sampaguita, and I'm looking down here at the calorifier. So I've already taken off. This is the pressurized cold water that comes in normally through here, fills this tank. I think it's about 20 litres, and then goes out to the hot taps. And then these two are from the engine, so this is hot water from the engine. So there's other things in here. There's the exhaust pipe with a nice loop, anti-siphon loop. That down pipe there is drainage from the cockpit of any water that slops in. This is the throttle and gear control cables. What else? This, I think, is the old wiring for the auto tiller that goes across the back here to the other side, so I want to replace that. This is the navigation wire, power wire, which I also want to replace. What else? This is the bilge pump. It just empties. The bilge just empties. This I find interesting. The bilge just empties into the cockpit through this. It's a really messy way of doing it. While we're here, so this is the old fuel gauge, which might have worked when this was transparent, but now it's translucent. It's not so good. A fuel shut-off stopcock. Some A1 fuel line that I fitted, because there used to be metal out of here to just a water separator, whereas now it goes to a nice Delphi water separator and filter. If you remember way back a year ago when I bought the boat, I had bad diesel bug, so I've had all that cleaned out. A bit more A1 pipe down, bonding onto the old fuel supply. So that's the fuel supply. Here's the fuel return. Here's the fuel fill. Here's the fuel kind of air vent, which just comes up here, so there's no fuel in here. And so I also want to take off, over the next couple of weeks, take off this inspection cap cover and drill a circular hole through that. Must be mild steel, I don't know, looks like mild steel, for the proper fuel sensor that I've bought. So lots to do in here. Oh, and here's an even better view of that galvanic isolator that I have installed. So that came out really easily
in part because this is, you can see from the amount of rusty metal. That was pretty corroded. It's a very heavy tank, and it feels like the whole thing had already kind of bent down onto the exhaust pipe. Let's just check the exhaust pipe integrity. Oh yeah, that was just stuff, that's alright. Hello, sponge. So my new one definitely needs to kind of go the right way around and be on a plinth. So my plan is to take this old bracket out, clear all this out, and then lay a brace. Oh, it's my new A1 spare hose. Lay a brace against the hull, so that I can then securely have a plinth with the load being spread properly for the new calorifier, which will sit probably a bit higher. So I've got to keep a bit of an eye on these. I'll have to take up this piece here, because these will need to kind of come into the new calorifier, and right now they won't be long enough, this fuel hose. So maybe I'll replace all of the fuel hose. Sorry, not fuel hose, water hose. This is just water. So I'll take some measurements off that pipe as well. It's clearly, it's actually in quite good shape. It's just a reinforced, highly flexible rubber fuel hose. Anyway, I'll get this cleared up. Okay, let me show you what I've done. Well, I huff puff and get my breath back. It's hot today, it's over 20 degrees, and it's a great day to be doing this. So I've done 2 brackets to support the plinth for the calorifier, the easy ones. They're both into plywood. This is ply, kind of longer on if it was an aeroplane. I don't know, a stringer, I don't know what you would call it in a boat. And this is what the old calorifier, these rusty marks here, was entirely hanging off, except the back one had given way. And so yeah, I don't want a 20 kilo weight relying on just that. So into it I have epoxied and screwed with 4 lovely bolts this piece of treated timber, and into this little board which was already in place I've put this piece of timber. Again, some thickened epoxy, 4 big bolts. So in theory, she's already, the new Calorifier, which is the same size as the old one, is already going to be supported by 2 very strong braces. Now it gets interesting, because I don't want to just rely on that. So I would like to glass in another support running along the hull. These hulls are very thick, but I would like to put a support in there, and then I would like to make a new plate to go at the back just to spread the load. Well, this is a warts and all channel where I show you everything. So here is the formwork that I have been putting in place for the Calorifier, and there's some more tabbing needed. I wanted to let this set overnight. I'll tab the top and back in that corner today, but it's all solid from yesterday, like to the touch, but I obviously want it solid enough to take the weight of the Calorifier. So that is all working well, and what's really surprised me this morning, because I did my best, but when everything is wet with epoxy, it's hard to really check these things. It's level in both directions. Don't know if you can see that bubble. So I am super happy, because it means that I should be able to cut out a nice piece of plywood, marine ply, to go on this space, and this plinth is easily big enough. It's slightly oversized, in fact, for the Calorifier. These pipes from the engine, to and from the engine, cooling water, then won't fit, but I've bought whole new hoses. So here it is, my plinth, double marine ply, sandwich glued and screwed. Fits really snugly, and I'm actually going to screw it down into the battens anyway. Yeah, I went for a sandwich because I want to give it some good strength, given it's going to have some load on it, and I want enough thickness in places to screw down through the Calorifier feet, and make sure this thing doesn't move in bumpy seas. So far so good. Now to paint it. Okay, so let me show you where we are with the Calorifier. So the first thing, hopefully you can see the formwork glassed in against the hull and against the bulkheads, and a new bulkhead at the back. That's all really solid. And then there's this piece of wood that I've been showing you. It's cut to a good shape. Get rid of that glass. It's a sandwich construction, so that there's good thickness of marine ply where the bolts go through. And then, as you can see, these are 10mm bolts with a nut, Loctite, and a locking nut. I don't think this is going to come off. And then there are screw holes through the marine ply into the formwork to keep the whole thing completely secure, just in choppy water. I don't know. Maybe it could be done better. I'm sure it could be done better. But I think this is pretty sturdy. I hope this is going to be good enough, and you're going to get to find out if you stay tuned. So let's get it in. Well, there she is, finally in. She's bolted down securely onto that plinth. The plinth is a good fit, and plinth is screwed in, and because she's on this sprung steel brace, look, she wobbles a bit. So as the diesel engine wobbles and everything, it's not like it's going to shake the back of the boat apart. There's enough kind of spring in her mounting, so that I think she'll be secure. What a job! It's taken me days. I've got to do the plumbing now. So the brown pipes are to and from the engine, in order to feed cooling water through, so that when the engine's on we get free hot water. There's an immersion heater that I need to wire into the AC, and then this is hot water out, cold water in, just through quick connects. And I could, if I was doing a simple thing, and I might still do it, I could just wire in the old pipes. But I want to see if I can get an external shower plumbed in, and maybe an accumulator to balance the water pressures when the pump's running and the taps are turning on and off. So I've got choices. I can do it simply if I want to do a simple test, and then add the accumulator and add the shower if I like. Right, I need a rest after that. Well, it's the evening before the day when Sampaguita goes back in the water, and I think I've run out of time. I better get the fenders on, get some lines set, because they might splash at any time tomorrow. So here's the latest view of the calorifier, mounted nicely, and now plumbed in to the engine cooling, so that when we're underway by engine, the water will circulate here and heat hot water for our taps, and we get free hot water. So what I still need to plumb in is cold water in, hot water out, and that's just a bit delayed because I've been getting some plumbing fixings for the outdoor shower unit that's going to go up there. This is just an overpressure vent, and also the AC immersion, so that when we're in the marina we can also have hot water. But I can do all of that when she's back in the water. While I'm here, I'll also show you right at the back. I've just, as my last job before splashing, installed that white pipe thing to the outside with some plywood behind it. That is an emergency ladder. It's in that tube. I'll show you from outside, but you pull it, you swim up to the back of the boat, pull a loop, and out comes a little rope ladder, which extends down 1.5 meters, I think, into the water, so that you can then climb out onto the step ladder, because you'll never be able to pull yourself up if you're wet and tired onto that step ladder that's above the water. So you pull this loop and out comes a step ladder right down, and then you can climb up and get onto the proper ladder. And because I do a lot of solo sailing, I figured it'd be a good investment. Well, as you join me at Gosport Marina on Father's Day morning, my eldest daughter and my dad are nearly at the train station. They're coming to join me for a downwind sail back to Chichester, but I wanted to bring you here to show you how the calorifier turned out. To finish this video, so she's plumbed with cold water supply and hot water out. I've set the mixer for about 50 degrees, it can go up to 65, and the black tubes on the horizontal axis are the engine cooling water in and out. She's all working beautifully. I motored here from Chichester yesterday against a 25 knot headwind, so that was bumpy and, well, exhilarating, to be honest, and that meant I had loads of hot water last night, and because of the insulation on this, there's even some left this morning. Still to do is to plumb in the shower unit, haven't had time for that, and to wire in the AC electricity for the immersion heater, but those are the easy jobs compared to everything that I've done to get this to this point. The plinth is absolutely solid, the plumbing isn't stressed, it's all fitting nicely, no leaks. It's a very satisfying end to quite a long and involved job. I hope you enjoyed watching me do that.